Take a trip with us to Nilbog. Just promise not to drink the goo. If you get sucked into the Matrix, we'll send Michael B. Jordan for you. 'Cause every movie has a plot hole, and every hole gets filled somehow. The whiskey, wine, or blue milk. Just don't cut me off right now with a plot-less. A breakfast club or two with a plot-less. Ripping plots apart for you.
Woo, yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome here. Welcome. I'll lean out of the frame at first because I've got to put my guitar over there. Bryan, how are you today?
I am glad that we are doing the show because a lot of things that I've been seeing on social media has been kind of making me feel a little bit cranky, Shane. But
yeah, well, that is the nature of the beast. I think it's there to make us feel a little cranky sometimes. That's how I feel about it.
I feel a little mad sometimes too.
That's hey, you know. You can say what you will about like our parents and grandparents' generations, but it is almost impossible not to be more informed unless you're just over-informed, if that makes sense. You know, like if you're not critically, or if you're not critically literate and you don't know what information you're consuming, then yeah, you could get some bad information. But it's hard to believe that we aren't more plugged into what's going on in the world than our parents were.
Yeah. And it's
for better or worse, honestly, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. It's what's crazy though, and I didn't want to start us off, getting into deep, heavy discussion, but I will say that I think that a lot of it is that with the advent of the internet and social media and everything, while in a ton of ways we are more connected than ever, we are also way more segregated and separated than we should be in 2019.
It's true. Well, because there's such an overabundance of information that you can retreat to your echo chambers, right? And that's
right. Well, what really sucks about the information is that a lot of the times, a lot of the narration of said information is false. And it's based on one particular agenda or one particular point of view. And sadly enough, we as human beings are susceptible to different things. And if we don't know, then we end up following a narrative that's not the narrative that is the correct one. And and then on top of it all, people are just so
shitty.
I want to say, one half of people are not aware of how their behaviors, attitudes, and prejudices hurt other people, and the other half pretend to be oblivious but don't really seem to care.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to. I don't want to.
There's a lot to talk about there.
Because this is a part of the narrative of my upcoming article for our Plotaholics webpage that sort of got me a little bit caught up, and it was such a hard piece to write that it's actually taken some time to get done. So, but we digress. I digress.
My fault. It's on its way, and it is going to be a very good article. I don't want to get too much into it. Honestly, I want to have fun. Let's have a good time, man. And you know what?
Let's entertain. Let's inform. Let's break some news. Let's.
Yeah, and speaking of breaking news, another shot fired today in the streaming wars. And that is the news that NBC Universal is officially pulling The Office from Netflix starting in 2021.
No! I've only watched the entire series twice.
I've watched the entire series about 17 times, but
Hey, man,
almost
get back to it.
those are rookie numbers, Brian. You got to bump those numbers up.
Yeah, no, right? I do. I got to get back to it, man. Especially now that Roy is, Mr. Buyer, and he's Brian Murphy from The Replacements, man. I got to get back to it.
So we've talked a lot about what might happen to Netflix down the stretch here because of the development of Disney Plus and et cetera, et cetera. And so what I read an article a while ago, and I pulled it again for this. This is courtesy of Vox. They did a nice job of pulling the top shows, the shows on Netflix that get the most traffic.
Yeah.
And how many of those shows might leave Netflix as a result of being owned by other distributors. Okay. So here is that chart. So you'll see these are the shows with the most views, and anything with a red bar is owned by Disney, Fox, Warner Media, or NBC Universal.
Wow. That's crazy. Who gives a damn about Vampire Diaries? Wow. See, all right. So looking at this list, The Office, yes. Friends, yes. Parks and Recreation, I need to start watching. Grey's Anatomy, who cares? New Girl, who cares? Supernatural, it's breaking my heart that it's leaving the airwaves. 70s Show, I watched it once and all was good. It's fun. Criminal Minds, I don't watch. NCIS, Sharon watches. Arrested Development, I need to start watching because I love Jason Bateman.
Arrested Development is amazing, yeah.
Shameless, I definitely need to get caught back up with it, but it's difficult to watch. But hey, shout out to Joel Murray and our Summer of Cusack. Gilmore Girls, I watch. Frasier, I watch. Orange is the New Black is already a Netflix exclusive. Can't wait for that. BoJack Horseman, another Netflix exclusive.
Love it.
Mirror, another Netflix exclusive. And who cares about Vampire Diaries yet again?
Yeah. So when you look at this list, you're looking at 7, 11, 13, 15. You're looking at almost 20% of the traffic of this streaming service going to get pulled.
Yeah.
And they're starting to lose these shows. If The Office is going, then it is absolutely, I would say, expected that you'll see Parks and Rec go because they're owned by the same company.
Right.
Frasier, if I'm not mistaken, is in that.
Frasier is an NBC show, as is Cheers. So Cheers is probably isn't on that list, but
yeah. But then when you start looking a little bit where was Friends? Was Friends an NBC Universal show?
Friends is an NBC Universal show as well. Yes.
So there you have almost 15% of Netflix traffic is probably going to get pulled at the end of this. At the end of their respective contracts. And we knew that the Office contract was up in 2021, and we were sort of starting to speculate what would happen at that point. And today, official, probably just 15, 20 minutes before we came on the air, that NBC Universal announces they are pulling The Office from Netflix in 2021 and putting it on their own streaming service.
Yep. And you know what? Once again, everybody, if you're viewing us on Facebook, unfortunately, a lot of your comments are not going to come through. So suggest that you guys go to the YouTube channel, and I'm actually going to copy and paste the direct link to the premiere. The premiere over there on YouTube. I will.
There's a technical glitch between us and Restream right now that is keeping me from seeing your comments in the production studio.
Yeah.
So,
and I am actually there in the chat right now if you want to talk to us live. So, bam, there we are. And
yeah, we should be able to see your comments if you pop over to the YouTube page, and you can just Google Plotaholics YouTube if you want to, and it should be there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so big news there.
Shout out to Rich White for being there. And I just
yeah.
Yep, here I am. All right. So it's working on that regard. And I sent a little quick test as well. So yeah, join Richard, and come over to the YouTube channel where we're having our premiere, and check us out.
Before we get too much further in this thing, let's say everybody smash the subscribe to updates, like everything, tell your friends wherever you're watching.
Yeah, because we definitely want to start building up the. Hi, Anita. Thanks for joining us as always. Yeah, we definitely want to start building the YouTube channel. You know what? Let me just take a quick second out to explain this to everybody, Shane, because I actually had someone ask me why we're not putting why we've sort of slowed down our content on YouTube. Here's the problem. Shane and I like to use bumpers and everything when we record the podcast. I'm talking strictly from the podcast standpoint.
Yeah.
We put bumpers in and post, and because we want this to be the best experience for you, our listeners, because our viewers and listeners, because we feel that you guys deserve it. We appreciate you joining us every Tuesday and every Monday, every other Monday that the podcast comes out, and reading our articles. We love you so much for it. We thank you. However, when we go to YouTube, we keep getting these copyright and they're so annoying. And
it's really just on the podcast. That's the only time I think we've run into it.
It's only on the podcast that it happens. Now, in one of the last ones that really just pissed me off, it was the Masters of the Universe episode. And actually, I'll tell you exactly where it was in particular. We had the bumper for the intro to the movie Masters of the Universe. Some band that I don't even know if they're still around anymore.
I've definitely never heard of them.
I've never heard of them either. But they took the intro to Masters of the Universe. They took the whole audio intro to Masters of the Universe, the voiceover narration and the music. They took it all and put it into one of their videos. YouTube flagged us for copyright and basically said that the video could stay up, but we had to, if we got any sort of sponsorship or whatever, money would automatically go to this band. Why? They took the intro to a movie. I'm pretty sure they did not go to Canon Films, because Canon Films is no longer there, and got permission to use that. Now, I believe didn't Canon Films end up getting absorbed by Disney?
When we were looking at them, they were a Warner Brothers.
Okay, so they didn't go to Warner Brothers to get permission. Now, if Warner Brothers would have done the copyright thing and monetized, that's different. It belongs to them. But and anyone who watches YouTube know that you can use clips. But this band, now I got pissed off and I fought it. I've gotten nothing back from Google, nothing back from YouTube, nothing in that regard. So
so we are current. So these shows will always go up on YouTube, but we're trying to figure out our workaround for our podcast audio. However, if you want to really help us, watch these videos on YouTube and listen to the podcast on wherever you listen to podcasts.
Absolutely, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, the Buzzsprout, the Stitchers, the Apple Podcast, since they've dissolved iTunes now, it's just
that is right. It's Apple Podcasts now. That's going to
Google Podcasts. I mean, that's where you really want to listen to that stuff. And honestly, Bryan, before we launch into the news of the week, let's go ahead and say the Summer of Cusack off to a rollicking good start.
Oh, the Summer of Cusack is the shit, my friend. Summer of Cusack is going amazing. Now, we've already done High Fidelity. We've done One Crazy Summer. And we're actually going to be recording our Gross Point Blank episode with special guest Joe Compton of Go Indie Now. We're going to be recording that in the next couple of days. And
you can look for One Crazy Summer to post on Monday of next week. So that'll be July the 1st.
Yeah, July 1st is when your guys are going to get One Crazy Summer.
And let me tell you, it's really one crazy podcast.
It really is. It is so much. It was so much fun to do. And I mean, we're sitting here and we're just laughing our asses off. And we haven't even gotten into 5 minutes of the movie and we're sitting there laughing.
Yeah. So if you have not seen One Crazy Summer, you have until Monday to get caught up, and then you can listen and really laugh enjoy.
Or just laugh with us and watch the movie afterwards.
That's right.
And you know what? And checking this out right now, Boys in the Hood is our still most played episode. Right. High Fidelity is right behind it.
It's gaining for sure.
Actually, as a matter of fact, our top 3 episodes of the 7 that we've done are the last three. In sequential order: Boys in the Hood, Masters of the Universe, and High Fidelity. Those are our highest listened to episodes.
Yeah,
So
and
far.
High Fidelity's been out only for a week, so
yes, so that could overtake. Could High Fidelity pull a Endgame? Because right now, High Fidelity is Endgame, and Boys in the Hood is Avatar, and I hate to make that comparison, but
yeah. Well, speaking of which, let's get into what I assumed would be our lead story of the night before the Office stuff broke, and that is
we do have a Google Pass. Thanks, Richard. Yep.
And that is the re-release of Avengers Endgame.
Well, technically, it's not a re-release because it is still in its initial run in theaters. They're just adding new content, so
right,
it's not a re-release. But
yeah,
let's say, sorry, I'm all pumped about this.
Yeah, so like what I was going to say is, you're right. It's not really a re-release because it is still out there, but everything that I've seen has been framing it as a re-release,
and that's not fair. That's wrong.
But it is still a different movie than it was. Like it's still.
Well, I'm gonna go see it on Sunday. I'm planning to go see it on Sunday.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Avengers Endgame has already made more money than Avatar did in its first run. Remember, Avatar had to get, what was it, 2 re-releases?
I think it's only had one. It was Titanic that had a couple.
All right, Titanic had multiple re-releases and Avatar had one. So Avengers has already made more money than Avatar did in its first release.
Initial run, yeah.
In its initial run. Now, Avengers is still in its initial run. It's just now we're getting an extended cut. And this is probably what was going to be on the Blu-ray, or a part of what was going to be on the Blu-ray. Yeah. But it's like, you know what? Let's just put it out there to get that last little oomph.
Yeah, so it looks like everything that I've read looks like a deleted scene, a Stan Lee tribute of some sort, and a post-credit scene is what you're going to get. And it's about 6 minutes of footage.
So it's going to add 6 minutes of footage to the movie.
That's what it looks like. Yeah. So
I'll spend another bit of money in 3 hours of my time for 6 minutes.
Yeah. When one of the theaters released the runtime, it was 6 minutes longer than the original. And again, so a post-credit scene usually doesn't run longer than a minute. A Stan Lee tribute is maybe going to be a minute, and then whatever your deleted scene is going to be the rest of it.
Well, I'm glad that they're doing this for Stan, because honestly, his cameo sucked. I did not.
Honestly, Stan Lee, the best tribute to Stan Lee was at the beginning of Captain Marvel.
Yes, that was probably among the best. I thought it was great, and it gave a nice nod to Kevin Smith as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, Anita's right. It's an extended cut. It's not a re-release. So we're getting that extended cut. And as far as what the deleted scene is, I think it's going to be Tony seeing an adult Morgan. I think that's what we're going to get. And our end credit scene is probably going to be something leading us into Far From Home. Which
I think the post credit is going to lead us in, even though some theories are that the deleted or that the post credit scene is going to reveal some sort of a Fantastic Four character, not one of the Fantastic Four, but I don't think that's going to be it either.
I don't think so, because they literally, well, no, what I'm saying, Richard, is that I think what it's going to be is, all right, when in Infinity War, when Thanos used the Infinity Gauntlet and he saw a child Gamora, I think that we're going to get Iron Man after the snap, and he's going to see an adult Morgan in that spirit.
Right, you're going to have the spirit realm with Tony.
That's what I think. Because remember,
I'm not mad at that, but
that's worth it for me. That's worth it for me.
I worry that something like that is going to water down the emotional impact of the rest of that scene, though. Like with Peter and with Pepper, and because you're going to delay all of that emotion for a few moments.
The only reason I don't think it's going to probably be that long of a scene. And Anita's right. There was a Tony and his daughter scene that was cut, so I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, I
really
promise you, whatever the deleted scene is going to be.
It's going to be worth it. It's going to be good. And
I was going to say it's going to be like minuscule in terms of what it adds to the actual plot of the movie. I mean, it might be worth it, but it's not going to drastically change the experience.
I don't think so, and I really don't see it ruining anything or taking away anything, because I just think that. And I was re-listening to our Endgame episode, by the way, and I hear a massive amount of improvement over our audio. So kudos to you, engineer Shane. But I think it's going to be great because it gives us just a little bit more Robert Downey Jr. Just a little bit more.
Yeah, I heard a theory a long time ago, long before Endgame ever even came out, and this was probably just in jest, but I kind of hope that this is the deleted scene. And it is when Steve Rogers shaves his beard. And like the thought was that he was going to shave it as tribute to the half that were gone, and he was just going to shave half of it. And and then when he walks out of the bathroom, Natasha looks at him and is like, "No, shave the rest of it."
Well, you know where part of that might have come from.
Where's that?
There was a wrestling angle where the John Tenta, who was known as Earthquake, he would have had his. I think he recently had a birthday, but he passed away a few years ago. And they did an angle in WCW where they shaved half his head. And he was like, "I'm gonna keep half my head shaved because I am a man and I want to see the indignity, so I can take you out." So,
I think that the only facial grooming technique that might be better than the half beard is the monkey tail beard. Have you ever seen a monkey tail beard, Brian?
I have not, but I'm pretty sure Sonic wouldn't approve.
Everyone listening should Google immediately monkey tail beard.
I'm doing it right now. All right, I'm doing it right now. Monkey tail beard. Oh, Jesus.
And Richard, I did hear that the Hulk was
what in the ball sacks with cheese am I looking at? Who would do this and why? This is the most wow. Why?
The monkey tail beard, man. Monkey tail beard.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
I wish I had a picture of the monkey tail beard to put up, but to be honest, I did not anticipate talking about it.
Oh my god. You know what? And on that, I really hope that the Hulk actually will get his action set piece, because he didn't get one. The Hulk got hosed. Yeah. Why do the Russos hate the Hulk, Shane?
I agree. Like, if there's anything in this movie that would make it worth returning to the theater for me, it would be seeing the Hulk in the final battle, because he was basically absent.
Yeah, all you saw was him being lifted out of the rubble by Giant Man. And he's just like, and it's like, so what the hell are you doing, Bruce?
Yeah, but just to wrap up the Endgame talk here, we are looking at just around 30. Yep. Before Endgame surpasses Avatar.
You think it's going to do it this weekend?
I think that the buzz around the extended cut is probably enough to get it over the bump. It'll still be tight, because you're going to have a lot of people that aren't going to want to spend the extra money again, or the time, because I think Endgame is one of those movies that loses appeal after you see it, because you lose the appeal of the big moments, the shock factor.
That's true. Well, I mean, someone posted the final battle of Endgame on Facebook, and I've watched it like every time it's come up on my feed, and I love it every single. But then again, that's just me. So maybe you're right.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're now okay. It's never going to have another whatever like crazy opening weekend that it had, right?
Oh God, no.
But will enough people buy tickets for it to make 37 million? I mean, probably. But it might take 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, some people might go to see Endgame in anticipation, because Spider-Man: Far From Home drops next weekend.
That's it, and
they'll probably go and see it to lead into that.
I think that's both what could save it and what could hurt it. If it doesn't make it this weekend, I don't know that it makes it, because then you've got another Marvel movie in theaters. If it makes it this weekend, it's probably for those people that are watching it in preparation for Spider-Man.
Yep. How hilarious would it be if it beat it by $1?
I mean, that'd be amazing. That's like football stuff right there.
Matter of fact, how funny would it be if it like just almost misses it, but then like the entire cast and crew just decides to like donate $1 to add to the box office,
right?
It just barely makes it.
Well, that's the thing. You know what? The premiere that all of the actors go to, I don't think they pay for it.
No, they don't.
So they all got to see it for free, and that might be the $250 that it took.
Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Mr. Hemsworth.
Well, speaking of movies that are not going to beat Avatar for the top grossing film of all time, we've had a summer of terrible sequels, Bryan.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Now, to be fair, I've only seen one of these movies so far.
I've seen none of them, even though I was like dying to see Godzilla.
Yeah, that was all you talked about. You didn't even talk about going to Europe. You just talked about seeing Godzilla. Now, I do plan on going to see Shaft at some point.
And I plan on seeing Godzilla, but that out of this list, Godzilla was the only one. Honestly, Bryan, I didn't even know Shaft was coming until I think. Heyo, I think the first time I heard or saw a Shaft trailer was when I went to see Booksmart, maybe.
Joe,
but it was
monkey tail beard from
but Shaft snuck up on me. I did not know it was coming.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I heard about it a couple of months ago, and I got all excited, and then I just lost interest. And then we started doing the Plotaholics, and Endgame was coming out, so I was just like, well, I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah.
Secret Life of Pets 2, I don't have really any desire to see at all.
Well, and that franchise is hurt, I think, because of the Louis C.K. stuff. You don't have him returning as voice talent. And again, it's another sequel that nobody really asked for. I don't even remember the Secret Life of Pets 1 being.
I never watched it. Right. And to answer your question, Richard, it's not a remake. This is the final movie, and it's actually a part of the X-Men First Class series. So you got X-Men First Class. I see Days of Future Past. It's a little bit dicey because it bridges the gap. And then you've got Apocalypse, and then you got Dark Phoenix. So it's part of that 4-part. Yeah. And
Men in Black International.
Who asked for this? Who thought this was? I think they just looked and said, "Hey, Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth had a lot of chemistry in Thor Ragnarok. Let's put them in a Men in Black movie. Let's not. Let's just not."
Yeah. So it's not quite like Logan or Wolverine.
It's not like that.
It's a full-on X-Men movie.
It is a full-on X-Men movie. It is a sequel to Apocalypse
and the conclusion to the X-Men franchise, as we know it.
Yeah, well, the Fox version. Thank God. Like I said, that's just a dumpster fire. But
yeah, so
who thought Men in Black International? Who cares? I don't care anymore. I didn't care about Men in Black 3.
Right.
I didn't care about Men in Black.
I only cared about Men in Black 2 because Men in Black 1 was good. But after seeing Men in Black 2, it's like, okay, so this is pretty much done. Good.
It's over. It's done. And then Men in Black 3, what was the point? And you really think that putting Liam Neeson, Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, and Emma Thompson in this movie is going to make... No, I don't care. All right? No, it's enough. And you know something else? This falls under yet another sequel to a Will Smith film that doesn't include Will Smith, and then you wonder why. Because Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones made those Men in Black movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And Josh Brolin did an amazing. Josh Brolin even Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones seem to phone it in Men in Black 3, and Josh Brolin saved Men in Black 3.
I'll say Josh Brolin is like the MVP in almost everything he does.
He really is, and this is even going back to the 80s, because the movie Thrashing was it's a fun 80s skateboard flick.
Yeah.
And then Goonies, need I say more?
Well, I think the problem with this Men in Black International thing is that the chemistry that they were trying to capture between their two leads here is absolutely contrary to the chemistry that Jones and Smith had, because that worked because of Smith's like charisma and his sort of like poppiness, and then Tommy Lee Jones deadpan, dry, old man, washed up guy. Exactly. These two are two young, sort of like, they're kind of the same in a lot of ways,
Exactly. And it doesn't work.
Anytime you're doing a buddy cop movie, which is what Men in Black is. Men in Black is a buddy cop movie. And anytime you're doing a buddy cop movie, you have to have tension between the characters, and it can't just be, I've been here longer than you.
Right. There's got to be more to it than that. And I'll tell you something. Every film that Sharon and I have gone to that's, had Men in Black with it, as soon as it comes up, I want to laugh at the jokes. I can't, because they're not funny.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do think that the songs that they've used in the trailers are bangers, but the trailers themselves.
Now that's bad when the only good thing you can say about it is that the songs in the trailer be banging. That's
right. Cool. Yeah. Well, but look, me and Michelle one night spent like 45 minutes trying to find one of the songs, the Missy Elliott song, in one of those trailers. That song's a banger, and we spent so long trying to figure out what it was. And so Men in Black probably got more views on their trailers that night. Just from the two of us trying to figure out what that song was.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's bad. I mean,
Godzilla. I do plan on seeing Godzilla hopefully this week.
I might go see it when my son comes to visit. He wants to see Spider-Man. Right. I might see if he wants to go. He's probably going to say no to Godzilla. I might just go see Godzilla because you've gone to go see it. So that way,
I'd like to see it. But otherwise, these movies here,
boo.
That's a big thumbs down from me.
That's no good jumper.
Yeah, other movie news that is, I'll say movie news with an asterisk, because all very rumory right now, and this is something that you wanted to talk about, Brian, and that is
rumors that Jordan taking over as a lead in a possible fourth Matrix film. Now, for all of the challenges for one, we re-reviewed the first Matrix. I believe we gave the first Matrix, it was either it wasn't a one-shot rating that we gave it.
Yeah, it was something like a 1. I think I gave it like a 1.5 or something.
All right. The original Matrix is classic.
Yeah.
We can all agree to that. The second Matrix Reloaded, is like, Matrix Revolutions is, and
the Animatrix.
The Animatrix is fire.
Yeah,
I love the Animatrix.
It's a banger. The Animatrix is the Missy Elliott song of the Matrix.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, come on. The Animatrix is I punch Keanu Reeves of the Matrix.
Okay. I still haven't watched it, man.
Dude, did you at least listen to the song?
I haven't, because I don't want to. I want to hear it in context, Okay. And so let me have a moment here. I know we're talking about the Matrix, but let me explain my television viewing habits.
Okay.
For you. Yeah, during the week we like to watch TV shows because it's easy to break off from them at any point.
Understood.
You know what I mean? So like, if it's time to go to bed, all of a sudden, like, we can just end this one at the end of this episode and call it a day.
Right.
We like to watch the movies on the weekend because we can go a little bit longer or whatever.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and so for the last couple of weekends, I've been watching freaking John Cusack movies all weekend in preparation for
Summer of Cusack. Hey, do you guys get the feeling that we're trying to push something here? Is there something going on? I mean, I don't know. I mean, Shane, is there something going on? I mean, I don't know.
Well, the only thing that I see going on is us forcing ourselves to watch 3 really good movies and 2, nah.
You hate One Crazy Summer so much.
I really didn't hate it. I really didn't.
But it's not,
but
it's not a good movie.
You'll have to wait until the podcast drops on July 1st to hear more about my thoughts on One Crazy Summer, which
it is such a,
I believe is a masterpiece of magical realism cinema.
Yeah, everything that happens in One Crazy Summer could actually happen to you in real life. So don't make faces at someone.
Right. Yeah, not a wizard.
But back to the Matrix. So at first there was talk that there was going to be a 4th Matrix film, but neither of the Wachowskis was going to be involved. And then it was supposed to Michael B. Jordan was attached. Now, love Michael B. Jordan. I think Michael B. Jordan is definitely him and Chadwick Boseman are the futures of, black actors, in my opinion. And I hate to put it like that, but I mean, where you had Denzel, you had Morgan Freeman, and you had Lawrence Fishburne and Samuel L. Jackson.
Just like you say, I mean, Jordan Peele is the future of black cinema.
Oh, absolutely. He really is. So, but Michael B. Jordan is just the man. So, and then they were saying, well, I think they said Lily Wachowski was going to somewhat be involved, and Michael B. Jordan was still attached. Now they're saying that both of the Wachowski siblings are going to be involved with Michael B. Jordan. Now, there's no real details. This is just rumor and innuendo. There is nothing serious. Like right now already, we get Richard White in all caps in it. How do you replace Neo? We don't know yet.
Well, here's what I worry about, Brian.
This might not even happen.
Here's what I'm worried about, because one of the articles that I read about this said that maybe Michael B. Jordan was being cast as a young Morpheus, which would worry me because maybe the Matrix is going down Star Wars prequel territory.
Well, see, I don't want that. I don't want a prequel.
No.
I don't want that. If you're going to do something like that, you know what? Because number one, I love Michael B. Jordan, but he's not Lawrence Fishburne. I don't want to see him channel Lawrence Fishburne. I don't want another aspect of a Donald Glover channeling an older actor. I want to see the future. I want to see Zion post Neo's sacrifice.
I don't like this idea, or I don't like this trend in Hollywood to try to over-explain the past. You started this original film where you started it, and it was a masterpiece.
Yes.
You don't have to go retcon a bunch of shit to make this movie, because what I feel like what people fail to understand is the gravity of a prequel on the pre-existing material. It will 100% of the time change the way we feel about what already exists.
Right.
And that is a dangerous game to play. If you can't knock it out of the park, then it only hurts. Solo only hurt Han Solo's characterization.
Yes.
It didn't help it. He was better as a mystery.
Right. Obi-Wan was hurt with, I mean, granted, everyone praises Ewan McGregor for his portrayal of young Obi-Wan.
Yeah. But if you found a diamond in the third, then you would probably praise it too.
Right. Because, I mean, look what it did for Darth Vader. Vader was like the biggest badass villain of badass villains. And what did we get? Now it's just like, he's Vader.
Now he's just an angsty teenager in a costume.
Right.
And so if you...
necessary.
And there are a lot of people that would argue, well, just ignore the prequels. But you can't, because that is a part of the canon now.
Yeah,
and you have now there. And so if they are trying to go back in time and tell us the story of how the crew upon the Nebuchadnezzar came to be, then I want to go ahead and be on board for a big fat pass. I don't want any part of it.
Absolutely. If you really, number one, you don't need a prequel. The Animatrix took care of so much.
Right.
I don't care about the Morpheus, Niobe, Locke love triangle. I don't care. I don't care how Captain Mifune didn't finish the training. You know what? I don't care. Leave it alone. What I would like is maybe you jump forward 18 to 25 years.
Now that's interesting.
After the Battle of Zion. And now, and then, you know what, continue with the storyline that the Matrix PC game started, because they really expanded where you had the kid, the character of the kid, he's like, you know, he leads one group. Morpheus leads an extremist group. The Merovingian leads a group, and then you've got the machines. You got 4 different groups. I actually think that is a great idea. We don't need a prequel. And the problem is that after the first Matrix, the Wachowskis had a lot of duds. And I'm deathly afraid that they're going to continue to tarnish
like here's the thing, man. Like if you are a Hollywood, if you're a writer or if you're a director and you feel this desire to make a prequel, then you should have just written that story first.
Right.
Like stop.
Don't do
it. The stories that start in media res, right? Like in the middle of things, are much more compelling than the stories that start there and then backtrack and tell us how we got there.
Right. Or if you were going to do something like that, maybe you should have done something like that with the Animatrix. You know,
right. Now there's some things you can do, and Star Wars has been much more successful with their animated, like the series sort of stuff. Their television serials can do some of that.
Right. But the Matrix ain't Star Wars.
That's true. The Matrix ain't Star Wars.
So I'm half excited, half like paranoid, because they've already tarnished like I said, they've already tarnished the Matrix with. I mean, honestly, I can enjoy the Matrix Reloaded. It's got its problems. The Matrix Revolutions, I just like, ugh. And I like the Enter the Matrix video game. The Path of Neo, I could have done without. The Matrix PC game, I love what they tried to do. The problem is that the technology was not on their side. So
there was a Matrix game on original Xbox that I was way into. It was killer.
It was either Enter the Matrix or Path of it was either Enter Matrix or Path of
I think it was Enter the Matrix.
Yeah, because that's the one that followed the Niobe's crew.
Yeah, I will say, Richard, I agree. I think V for Vendetta is a very good film.
I wasn't that big of a fan, to be honest.
I liked it, man. I was a big fan. I liked it.
I should probably revisit that film to see if I can appreciate it better now, because I'm much more anti-establishment now. I mean, I was anti-establishment then, but I wasn't as anti-establishment, and I hadn't become as much of a storyteller as I am now.
Yeah, I was in the heart of my liberal arts education whenever I watched V for Vendetta, so I was like rife for it, and I think it's good. I mean, it's not perfect. It has the sort of like the lulls in it in the middle part of it. I think that Natalie Portman was very good, and I think that overall, I think it was a good movie. But that is a conversation for the Plotaholics podcast.
Yes, it is.
The Plotaholics podcast, Bryan. I don't know if you've heard or not, but they are doing some pretty big things over there. Right now, they're in the middle of what's called the Summer of Cusack.
Oh, wow. You know what? I think I might have heard about that. But they're talking about John Cusack and some of his movies, if I recall. Yes. High Fidelity, One Crazy Summer, Grosse Pointe.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool.
All right. So that's awesome. I think those guys might be onto something, Shane.
Yeah, I think that they're probably on point. So let's see. You wanted to talk about this video that came out, I think it was this week, about how Blade paved the way for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Now, what really is crazy to me is that I wanted to do this so bad because, you know, let's be frank, let's be honest. When Blade came out, there was a lot of people that were like, meh. But Blade was awesome when it came out. Like, a lot of folks didn't even know who Blade was. I knew who Blade was from the Spider-Man animated series. But I'm thinking to myself, oh, man, don't tell me he's going to be like that. And
yeah, Blade. So I have
the Blade.
I don't know that I ever saw the other two Blades, but I remember watching the first Blade.
The Blade Trinity you can do without.
But that first Blade, just the opening action set piece in the nightclub with the blood coming from the sprinkler system, and
Tracy Lords, and
I was there for Blade 1 for sure. I was. Now, if you want, you know what? It's almost like I love what Michael B. Jordan did with Killmonger, but man, to have him as Blade.
yes, 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 100 times, yes.
But I don't know that you can do that now.
I mean, it would be difficult, but it would. Well, because here's the thing: Wesley Snipes still looks the same. He still is in fantabulous shape.
Yeah, but he's not Blade anymore.
I mean, well, who else is Blade though?
Well,
It's
right,
not
but
Sticky Fingers, who was
okay.
Blade TV
So if
show.
you want to do some retconning and make the original trilogy a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, then we can have an older Blade now, and we can keep Wesley around.
Kills slowly, so I mean, yeah, so I mean, it would work, but Blade would. All right, and when the original Blade, when Blade first came out, they said that he was, he aged slowly because he's a vampire. So we'll say that Blade. Would it be safe for you to say that Blade was maybe in his 30s in the first movie, right?
Yeah.
So you figure 20 years later, he would probably he should still look like he's in his mid 30s. So yeah.
My cat is banging the door down right now. So hold on. Let me
open the. I'll talk a little bit more about Blade while you. So
basically, you talk about Blade and how he saved or paved the way rather for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right. Well, for those who don't know, and this is courtesy of nofilmschool.com, and basically at the time, Marvel Studios had sold off the X-Men, sold off Spider-Man, sold off the Fantastic Four previously. And it got them money. But the thing was, when they did Blade, that let Marvel know, hey, we can make money with our stuff. And I mean, the thing is that if it wasn't for Blade, you wouldn't have gotten Iron Man. You wouldn't have gotten a chance to have Robert Downey Jr. take on the role as Iron Man. We probably wouldn't have comic book movies as we know them now. Really, because if you think about it, Blade, it's not the first comic book film to be rated R. Technically, that was Dolph Lundgren's The Punisher, but the less we talk about that, the better. But the thing is that the first Blade, you got to get, it was R-rated, it was gritty, it was grimy, it was dirty, and it was genius. And as a matter of fact, and I'm looking at No Film School, and they're saying you got a C-list Marvel character, which is pretty much true. Except when he showed up in the Spider-Man comic books, no one really knew who the hell he was because he was part of that division of Marvel that no one really paid that much attention to. He had his following, but it was really, really small. And then at the time, Wesley Snipes was still riding off his success as Nino Brown in New Jack City. And he had done Demolition Man after that. So he had some movies, but he wasn't a top draw. He wasn't a leading man. He wasn't Denzel level. But it all came together. And yeah, then you had Chris Christopherson come in. And Chris Christopherson did an amazing job. And, it was just great. You caught lightning in the bottle. And, Blade was fun. It was energetic. It was something different. It was different from a lot of the vampire films that we had. And it was great. And if that hadn't have made Marvel some money.
It was real dope, man.
Yeah, you don't get even the soundtrack is amazing. I listen to a lot of the soundtrack while I'm working out. And if Blade isn't a success, and even getting to Blade 2 wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still great. Blade Trinity, we don't talk about. But if it wasn't for Blade and Blade 2, then you don't get an MCU. You don't get the idea of an MCU. You just don't.
And that, it's interesting to think about things like that because of where there's so many stories like that. And we're going to talk about another one when we get to our coming attractions.
Yeah.
But it seems that Richard is taking issue with our Summer of Cusack.
You know what? Because we didn't want to, Richard. How about
Yeah,
that?
I mean he's asking about Con Air and Serendipity.
I didn't like
I
Con Air.
would have argued for Serendipity. In the future, Richard. Well, we only do 2 podcasts a month right now, and in the future we're going to up that to 4. In a world where we were doing 4 right now, we would have gotten to a lot of these other ones.
Right, but we didn't really have the. We had to make the best out of what we had, and you know what? It's summertime, so we wanted to do some fun stuff. And I
We
mean,
wanted to do the fun things. If there was one that I wanted to do that's not here, it is well, I would have done Serendipity, but the other one I was thinking about, which is one that we might end up doing in our October run, is that what is the movie 1468?
1408.
1408, yeah.
And I'm so down to do that because I love that. I love the psych horror of it and just the craziness. And I definitely am all for that. But I mean, Serendipity, yeah. But you know what? Once again, we were already doing some drama and some.
Well, and as good as Serendipity is, Say Anything is the ultimate of John Cusack romantic comedies.
And we had to end the Summer of Cusack on that. That was like the only way. And then as far as I don't really want to get into why
like our decision,
but it is.
Yeah, Richard. Get off our dick, Richard. Like we did what we wanted
man.
to do.
Yeah, you know what, Richard? Why don't you just shave your head completely like we do? Huh?
Right.
Yeah. You don't have nothing there. You don't have nothing there. You want a piece of me? Huh? You want some of this? Huh? You touched my car, Richard. You touched my car.
GTFO. I mean, but don't GTFO. Stay the F in here and continue to give us views. But still, we love you, Richard. But still, get off our dick.
And and you know what? Thank you, Anita. Thank you. Con Air is a Nicolas Cage movie.
Absolutely,
not a John Cusack movie. It is not. It is not, sir.
Whoa!
We love you,
another airplane movie.
Oh, I'm gonna be.
Did you ever see the SNL bit where Andy Samberg did Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, I just watched
Stuck
that.
in the cage with Nicolas Cage. It's so funny. I just
watched that today, actually.
I'm gonna have sex with the Declaration of Independence.
Did you see the one guy from The Big Bang Theory did a Nicolas Cage impression?
I don't think so.
I don't even remember the guy's name, but it was hilarious. But no, I mean, it was just what we wanted some fun stuff. We wanted some quintessentials, and that's what we came up with. And
absolutely.
We'll probably do Serendipity at some point. Actually, I don't see us not doing Serendipity at some point. We're definitely going to do 1408 probably for Halloween, for our Halloween cast of shows. So don't worry, Richard. We're going to get to more John Cusack. We love John Cusack. He's one of our guys. So
yeah. And speaking of both Big Bang Theory and Andy Samberg,
I love Andy Samberg.
Just yesterday, we published over at plotaholics.com the second part to the fall TV preview.
Did Brooklyn Nine-Nine make it?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is back again. Yeah.
Woo!
So we talked a little bit about how NBC is the network that both giveth and taketh away, because they saved Brooklyn Nine-Nine last year from cancellation at Fox, and it's back again. It was one of the best performing shows for that network this year.
It really was.
And but still, NBC decided to cancel my beloved AP Bio.
Boo.
Hey, you're losing a lot of content. Might be a good time to go shopping for AP Bio.
Well, you know what? And let's stick to the AP Bio, but the Netflix does have some awesome content that is currently dropped and will be dropping as early as this week. But the cancellation of AP Bio is just a travesty. I'm still on the first season, but I'm laughing my ass off. I mean, he just walks in with his Dennis Reynolds. Okay, shut your mouths.
Start shutting up.
Start shutting up.
So let's talk a little bit about what you were just alluding to, and that is the arrival of
Into the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, I bowed out of seeing this in the movies theater, and The only reason why is because I knew it was going to end up coming to home media. And, I don't like seeing animated films in the theaters. I just don't. But from what I've seen of it, and I've watched the recaps on Cinema Wins and on Cinema Sins, and I can't wait to see this movie. I'm so excited to see Miles Morales come to the screen.
Wait, hold on, Bryan. Are you saying that you have not seen this movie?
I have not.
Oh my God.
But I am ready. I have been waiting for it to come to Netflix
I'm going
because
to give you right now a special unprompted
Plotaholics reviews. Yeah.
Bryan, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best animated feature I've seen in years.
I've heard that.
It is so like visually interesting. Like the story is excellent, but it's visually interesting. The soundtrack is killer, and both of us are big suckers for good soundtracks.
Oh, absolutely.
The soundtrack is killer. This movie, you're going to love it. Watch it immediately. I say ironically, as I have not watched anything you've told me to.
Okay. So then I shouldn't watch this because you haven't watched anything I've told you to watch.
I mean,
but I am going to watch this anyway. I am going to.
Yeah, you absolutely should. And I think like this weekend, I'm actually going to get to Always Be My Maybe because I'm caught up on the Summer of Cusack.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm actually going to be catching up on a lot of Summer of Cusack tonight. Actually, I am going to be watching Gross Point Blank again.
Oh man, we watched Gross Point Blank this weekend, and it's so good. It's so much better than I remember it being.
Well, Sharon really she's excited to watch Say Anything, so we're going to be watching that very, very soon as well.
Yeah, but I wanted to mention Into the Spider-Verse as well. It is coming to Netflix tomorrow. You said, right?
Yes, it is coming tomorrow, and I am excited.
But also, we got official word from the studio, I think earlier last week, that they are definitely working on a sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, a Miles Morales story, which is excellent.
Nice.
But also a Spider-Gwen spinoff.
Nice. And I'll tell you, Spider-Gwen has really, really exploded in popularity.
Yeah, she has. You go to any Comic-Con and that cosplay is everywhere.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm actually planning on, when I first saw her as a Funko Pop, I was like, yeah, but I'm actually going to get a Spider-Gwen Funko Pop.
I'm a big fan of Spider-Gwen. Also wanted to ask you, and I don't have a picture of them, but have you seen the giant Star Wars Funko Pops?
I believe I have.
It's like a Han Solo in a Millennium Falcon Funko Pop.
Wow. I have not seen that.
The Millennium Falcon also is a Funko Pop.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm looking that up right now.
Look it up.
I am looking that up right now. Sharon just gave you the dirtiest look, by the way, because she's been trying to curb my Funko addiction because keep in mind, we're also saving up for the wedding of Tan next year.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Plotaholics news coming.
Yeah, and you know what? We're actually going to have some major news on that as well. But
Anita, yes, Grosse Pointe Blank is literally a killer movie.
Yes, it is. And but that is badass. I can't wait.
Did you find it?
I'm looking at parts of it now, and it looks really, really cool, but I don't think it's showing me everything. But it's saying, oh, wait, this is Funko Pop Star Wars exclusive Han Solo with Millennium Falcon blueprint. That's not it. But it still looks badass. Oh, here it is. Funko's massive Star Wars Millennium Falcon with Han Solo pop is live. Oh my God.
I'm so glad that I got to be here when you
I need the Han Solo Millennium Falcon Star Wars Funko Pop. What about the wedding? We can sell crack.
It's for the wedding.
We can sell crack. It can be for the wedding. In the box.
Topper.
Yeah. Whoa. It's only $64.99. Yes. Come on. You've got 2 kidneys. Take one for the team and sell one. You know what? I'm surprised at your selfishness right now. Yeah, you know what? That's the look that Sonic's gonna give when I go off air and I have no I have I have no witnesses to the assault that's coming my way.
All right. One more little bit of news here before we get into our coming attractions, and that is, and I'm so excited, the renewal and official launch date for
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Woo! I love this show so much. I do need to catch up.
It's so good. And if there's a silver lining to
I was just getting
AP Bio being canceled, it is that Glenn will be more present in this season.
Sunny. Oh, if you have not watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, what is wrong with you?
It's so good.
It really is.
I think I might have to start it again tonight.
Honestly, I think I'm going to be restarting it as well because it's
amazing. It has such an awesome first. I would compare its first episode to the Chappelle Show first episode.
Yes, the game.
It comes out of the gate just ballsy as hell. It's like if you didn't know what you were signing up for, now you know.
And what's so great about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is that the first season is amazing, and then when they add Danny DeVito, now Danny DeVito joining the cast saved this show.
Yeah, he really did.
But it was like he was meant to be there.
You know what's awesome about that is that Danny DeVito joined the show as an executive producer and saved it with his money, right?
Right.
Now think about what his character does. His character funds all of their shenanigans with his money.
Yes. Which is what Danny DeVito did.
Right.
And then the only reason why Danny DeVito got involved is because his kids, him and Rhea Perlman's kids, are big fans of the show. So this is another case of like just like Frank Langella, who only took the role of Skeletor for Master of the Universe because his kids were fans. So or his grandkids were fans. So
you can catch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia returning to FXX in September for its 14th season, I believe.
And you know what, Shane? Talking about something, I didn't get a chance to bring this up before we went on air, but talking about Netflix and its amazing content, Mr. Iglesias.
How is that?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Gabriel Fluffy. I am only about I'm like 4 episodes in, and I have laughed myself in pain.
I've seen it, but I haven't watched it. I know my boy Oscar Nunez from The Office.
Is in it. Yes, he plays the evil vice principal.
Right.
And what's funny is that you ever notice that every vice principal is always the bad guy?
Yeah, he's the dick.
Yeah. Sherry Shepherd plays the principal. Sherry Shepherd from The View, the black comedian from The View. And then oh my God, Newsroom with Jeff Daniels.
I love Newsroom.
But let me finish saying this. Let me go on my quick Newsroom real quick. And then you've got crap. I cannot remember the guy's name for the life of me, but he's an amazing character actor. Hold on, let me look him up real quick because his name escapes me. But he was in Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion as Ramon. He was also in Sons of Anarchy as Montez. I'm trying to think what else was he. He was in a lot of stuff. Jacob Vargas plays Gabriel Iglesias' best friend, Tony. So Gabriel Iglesias he does the typical stand-up comedian with his own TV show playing Gabe Iglesias, who's a history teacher. And then Sherry Shepherd plays Paula, the principal of the school. Jacob Vargas plays Tony, who is Gabriel's best friend and another history teacher. Maggie, I'm going to butcher her name, Geha, plays Abby Spencer. Now, Maggie Geha, you'll remember her. She was Ivy in Gotham.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And she was Inga in 30 Rock.
Okay.
And she plays Abby, the stereotypical bubbly the white chick inner city teacher, but she's like the new teacher. Richard Gant, who you may know as George Washington Duke from Rocky V. Only in America. As Mr. Hayward, he was like he's like the the tenured teacher there, and he taught Gabe and Tony when they went to the same high school. And
Yeah.
then it's so hilarious because the students are amazing characters. Like they have one student who I think they say that she has crippling social anxiety, and they almost at time so she has crippling social anxiety. So she only speaks through using her computer, and it has like that robot voice.
Right.
Like she'll speak to Gabriel Iglesias as herself.
Yeah.
And when she does talk, she's just slamming people left and right. And it's hilarious. I
will give it a go. I will give it a go.
When you have time.
Yeah, this has been an impromptu round of
Plotaholics Mini Reviews. Oh, hold on. Mini Reviews. 80s.
And we're gonna have to save the newsroom talk for another time.
Yeah, the newsroom is great. You know what? Maybe we'll. You know what's crazy is that now we get these TV shows. We at some point in the future, we're gonna have to do like a Plotaholics like TV show version or something. I don't know.
I'm thinking of I think a lot of that is going to probably start as articles on plotaholics.com.
Yeah.
In what we will call the TV Lounge.
Oh, I like that. I like that idea.
But yeah, we can also do some videos and stuff. But it is about that time every week where we discuss what's
happening this weekend.
And Bryan, I'm going to feed into a little bit of next week as well, because sadly, I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to do this over the next 2 weeks. I'm going off to an artist residency in the North Carolina mountains for the next 2 weeks, and the internet is scarce there. But
look at Shane, man. Look at you. Okay.
Big things. But so because we won't have a Tuesday show next week, I wanted to include the big news in this week's opening.
Let's see. Don't care. Woohoo!
Right. So let's talk a little bit about these films. Now, Annabelle Comes Home is another example of one of those extended universes that seems to just kind of be working for some people.
Yeah, everyone's got to have an extended universe these days. So does that mean for every turd that I drop, there's going to be an extended universe? Tan turds, the extended universe?
I've been a big fan of tan turds from the beginning.
Iron turd.
Captain Turd. Captain Turd.
The Incredible Turd.
So Annabelle Comes Home is the latest from the Conjuring universe. Yeah. Now, in terms of a story, Yesterday seems interesting to me.
Now, this actually I would like to see. I take back my who cares. And
it's not necessarily a go to the theater to see, but I do want to see it.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
You're looking at some of the same people that were involved with Slumdog Millionaire, which was a great film.
I haven't seen it.
It's so good, and Love Actually, which is fine as a romantic comedy. But Yesterday tells the story of this guy Jack, who wakes up one day and is the only guy to remember the Beatles.
That is such an awesome premise. And then he starts to play Beatles songs. And we were like, "Whoa, you wrote that?"
Yeah. So it's almost like a hot tub time machine sort of moment where he's able to capture he's able to take all the Beatles music as his own because he's the only one that remembers it. I think that's a great premise.
Would you do that?
Oh yeah. Do you remember that scene in Summer of Cusack forthcoming feature Hot Tub Time Machine when Craig Daniel that's his name, right?
Craig Robinson.
Sorry. When Craig Robinson sings the Black Eyed Peas in the 1980s and claims it's his own music and everybody.
Yeah. And then he ended up doing that and he ended up singing You Say by Lisa Loeb. And she's a pet psychic, and she's like, "It's like you looked right into my soul." And he's like,
and the bit came running. And so so I am
dicks in the air.
I am interested in Yesterday, but the big one, Spider-Man
Far From Home.
Typically, you're going to be able to see. This is a July 4th weekend release, which means it's going to have an enormous weekend because you can watch what would normally be a Thursday night opening is Monday night.
That is insane.
So you'll be able to get.
I might actually do that. I might actually.
You'll be able to get like midnight tickets to Spider-Man Far From Home on Monday night. So something to consider, and I'm excited about.
Well, it's also had its own fair share of controversy lately too. Did you hear Samuel Jackson's not too happy?
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, apparently there was a promo poster of Nick Fury, and I think it's over in Europe that this happened, but they inverted it. So it's like, how he's supposed to have the eye patch on the left eye?
Right.
But in one of the posters, the eye patch is on the right eye. He actually said something on his Twitter where he's like, I'm going to have to come down there. And it's like, oh, man.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I think it's probably going to be fine. And all of the early reactions to the movie is very good. What I'm interested in, Bryan, is the rumored post-credit scene that is going to make old Spider-Man movies canon.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're doing that.
You don't think so?
No.
What I will say is that some of the critics who saw early screenings of it have said this, and this is, I'm paraphrasing, but I did read their tweets. They said the post-credit scene will blow your mind. It will be a huge deal for fans of the Maguire Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they called him out specifically.
You know what? What's weird? You know what though? We don't know how deep the partnership that Sony and Marvel has when it comes to Spider-Man. So maybe if they do something like this, then that's only good for the fans, because then that means that Sony and Marvel are really teaming up in this Spider-Man thing.
And we've heard this week that Kevin Feige is all for a Spider-Man Venom movie, but it would happen on the Sony side of things. But even that he's willing to part with Tom Holland for a movie like that is a good sign.
Yeah, because the thing is, he's not even when we say part with Tom Holland,
not that he's going to let him go.
He's on loan. He's on loan to Sony, just like how Sony says, "Well, all right, we own the film rights, but as long as we're able to have some of you use him and blah blah blah." Well, now Marvel will be like, you know what? You can borrow our Spider-Man, our actor as Spider-Man. Yeah. Because honestly, I didn't like Venom. I hated Venom.
No. And the reason I didn't like Venom is because it wasn't a Spider-Man movie.
Right, because Venom is a Spider-Man villain. He is an anti-hero that only gets his powers because of Spider-Man. And plus, I didn't like the writing. I felt like Sony needs to stay out of the Spider-Man movie. Well, let me see Into the Spider-Verse, because I heard since Sony did do Into the Spider-Verse, maybe they can finally be fully more into the Spider-Man.
I'm telling you, I want to talk about it tomorrow.
Okay,
if you watch it tomorrow, I want to talk about it tomorrow.
Okay, all right, we can do that.
Awesome. And I had high hopes for it, and it blew me away. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of what they were talking about, and like the visuals are amazing. The voice acting is on point, and yeah, I've heard a lot of positive, great things about it. So I'm very excited. Plus, the character Miles Morales has really started to grow on me, because when he was first introduced, I wasn't excited. But he's not a carbon copy. He's his own.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and there was a Miles Morales storyline in the Spider-Man PS4 video game. And there's a Miles Morales connection in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes, there is.
Donald Glover's character is
nephew.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what? If I were to get a I might get a PS4 when they're like dirt cheap with these new consoles coming in.
And that game is amazing.
Is it as good as the original Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation?
It's way better than any of those. It rivals it rivals Arkham Knight. That
Sold.
series.
Sold.
Yeah.
That's all you had to say.
Yeah, it is. Arkham Knight is my favorite series of video games I've ever played, and it is right there.
Okay. Then I'm gonna have
It's an open world Manhattan, like a truly open world Manhattan.
All right, I'm gonna have to pick it up then. I'll get it at some point when these things get cheaper, or maybe just maybe when we start getting sponsorship deals and making money. But then I'm not gonna have time. I won't have time then because this is gonna be our job.
Right, yeah, I know.
So, but we'll figure it out. But I'm very interested. I'm very excited, and I'm excited for Far From Home. I think that it's really, if it does what people are saying, like I've been staying away from all the buzz about it, to be honest, just like I did with Endgame. But from what I'm hearing, this can really open up the MCU in a whole lot of bigger and better directions. And I'm excited. I'm thrilled as can be. This is a great time to be a comic book movie fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree, and I am excited. And as we all know, this Spider-Man is the end of the current phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then we will be getting ready for our next phase of films.
Which I believe it's going to start with either Black Widow or Shang-Chi. I can't remember which. But there has been talk that
San Diego Comic-Con is going to give us the lowdown on all of the next phase, and so we'll be talking.
Right.
Yep. We will be talking about that on one of our shows in July. Once they make that official announcement, we will know what the next slate of Marvel movies will be, and we will talk all about that for sure.
Yeah, because I know one article that I read about Black Widow is that it might actually introduce us to the second Black Widow.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I'm excited about it, but am I more excited about Marvel than I am, say, season 14 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh, that's a tough call, man. That's a tough call because
I don't know.
You know what, man? Tons of credit to for what we started out this show with. When it comes to entertainment, though, this is the best. There hasn't been a better time to be a film nerd or a podcaster or anything like that, because with all the negative that we do have, our entertainment is like it's doing its job to help us deal with.
And that's really what it is, right? The Plotaholics, look, Bryan and I are both very much aware of all of the bullshit in the world.
Absolutely.
Don't think that we are blind to it because we do an entertainment podcast. We do an entertainment podcast as a means of escape.
Right.
And we hope that you join us on that escape from time to time. And we hope that we can give you something to smile about and something to look forward to, because, man, the world is not great sometimes.
It's a shitty thing. Things are shitty right now, and it's scary.
Yeah. If only we tweeted enough and the director would just like reboot it and redesign it like someone else that we know, but that is not the world that we live in.
I can just see the planet Earth now with a massive O face and everyone's tweeting God, reboot.
Yeah. Hey, man, before we get out of here, let's just real quick follow us. Plotaholics on Facebook, Plotaholics on Twitter, Plotaholics now on Instagram.
Yes.
You can follow the Plotaholics podcast, or subscribe to it rather, on any of your podcast catchers. Those are Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, etc. Listen to us on Spotify.
On Spotify as well.
And we are here every Tuesday, except for maybe the next 2 Tuesdays, depending on what my internet connection is like.
Shane gonna be busy
doing our live feed here on Tuesdays. Also, check out plotaholics.com. All the same content. You can see all these videos on plotaholics.com. You can get all the podcasts on plotaholics.com. But additionally, you get long form article sort of analysis of pop culture. Like I said, the second part of our TV preview for the 2019-20 season is up now. By the end of the week, we'll probably get Bryan's When They See Us article up.
Yep. And very, very powerful series on Netflix by Ava DuVernay, which, in case you've been living under a rock, follows the the details of the trial and conviction and exoneration of the Central Park Five. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it that much because I've gotten into it before. I've gotten very, very emotional about it. I'm very, very emotional in the article. Read it, watch it, and go from there. You can comment on our articles as well.
Yeah. Join the conversation, man. Look, this kind of thing is a lot of fun. I love talking to Bryan, but it would be a lot of fun for us to be able to talk to you guys too. So don't hesitate to join in. You can email us even if you'd like to be a part of it. We're always taking suggestions. Bryan, I wanted to mention, I actually got a suggestion in a message this week for an episode of the podcast.
Okay.
Our long-term listener, Bridget. Has requested that we do a podcast episode on Friday.
Yes. And you know this, man.
I told her that I think that we'd already mentioned that in passing, and if we haven't, it's definitely on the list.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because honestly, what Shane and I, because this is only our third month doing this show.
Right, yeah.
And we just sort of
said, wild, man, because
it's coming together so quickly.
Yeah.
And we have a list of movies in a spreadsheet, but it's just suggestions. The only real time that we've really scheduled is for Summer of Cusack. So, once Shane gets back from his 2 weeks, and granted my son will be here, but we're probably going to figure out, because we've talked about what we're going to do for October, and then what we're going to do for December, for our October Scare Fest and our, our season's greetings. You
can look forward to a lot of announcements, and probably starting in September.
Yeah.
And a lot more content.
Exactly. But we're actually going to start scheduling what movies we're gonna do. We can make up a schedule.
We'd like to give you guys a chance to watch them ahead of time so that you can get a little bit more out of the podcast as well.
Right. And so that way we don't have to feel bad, at least for some of the movies, because at least for me, I don't know about Shane, but sometimes I'm like, wow, if no one's watched this, it's getting spoiled.
Right. Well, at the same time, so we put spoiler warnings on anything that we do that's still in theaters or anything that's relatively new. But
if it's been out and you haven't seen it, it's your fault.
Yeah, One Crazy Summer has been out since the Dawn of Man. So if you haven't watched that yet,
the Dawn of Man, what a dick!
I had been born by the time that movie came out.
Yeah, I was 8.
But
yeah, if it's an old, for a movie like Friday, we shouldn't have to give you a spoiler warning.
No, but if we do anything that's out in the last year or two, we'll give you a spoiler warning.
Right. But soon we'll come up with a calendar. We'll put shows on there, because even like Shane said, right now we're doing 2 episodes a month. We're going to end up having to do 4 because the demand is there. The audience is building. And that's thanks to all of you. So keep sharing us, share our videos, share our posts, tell your friends,
articles, share it
all.
And hey, you know what? If you need us to share something, we'll share it too.
Yeah. So shoot us an email, shoot us a message. And, we have no problem doing sort of a cross promotion thing. And you know what? Maybe listen to us when you have people over, or if you're just outside sunbathing or something. For those of you that do that, just put us on and listen to us with your phone on, so people walking by.
I listen to us at the gym.
I listen to us on the way to work.
Yeah,
and while
I listen to us when I'm driving. Like when I go when I travel on Tuesday, on Monday of next week, I'll probably have us on.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I mean, I like to listen to us.
They are long form podcasts. Like you're gonna have to you have to dedicate a little time to it, but
yeah, because I mean, some of them, we go about an hour and a half. I think the Boys in the Hood episode we went over 2 hours.
It was a lot. I think it's about an hour 45.
All right, I mean, something like that. So it's about the same amount of time that a movie is, give or take. And yeah, we talk long form, we laugh, we dissect, we give our a lot of stuff. So check it out. And if you're in the car with some friends and you guys are taking a trip, just put us on, and just because at the end of the day, it's you, the viewer, listener, readers that help us build. So we want to build for you. We want to keep bringing you guys quality. So, help us out, and more to come. And we appreciate you.
That's it, man. Hey, and I think that's probably going to about do it for us for this episode of the Plotaholics Live. I'm Shane Wilson.
And I'm Bryan Tan.
And we will see you again real soon.
Take care.
We're the Plotaholics, a breakfast club of two. We're the Plotaholics, ripping plots apart for you.